Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Guys at Magic. This is Hunter, Steven, and Shane. Say what up, guys.
What up, everybody?
What's up, nerds?
We're back doing a spoiler video. We're still very much in Aether Drift right now. However, let's talk about a set that comes out in June, shall we?
Love it.
That set is Final Fantasy. Yeah, we got our first look today. Why are they showing it today? I'm not quite sure, but we're just it's just continuous hype, right? Always hype up the next set.
Mhm.
I know MagicCon Chicago is right around the corner, and we're probably going to see Dragons of Tarkir. That's going to be
Mm-hmm.
spoiled on this weekend, so we'll talk about that then. But this is Final Fantasy. So we, us three, are not Final Fantasy players, unless you are, Steven. Are you?
I love the franchise.
So no. Anyways,
What
we
does that
do
even
not play
mean?
Final Fantasy. We do not know anything kind of the cards or the art or the images, but after watching the reveal, pretty awesome cards, let me tell you. So bear with us if we mispronounce a card. Comment down below and be like, "Hey, you knocked it out of the park. You said that correctly." But let's just go ahead and start with this first one. It is Stiltzkin, Moogle Merchant. It is 1 white mana for a 1/2 legendary creature, Moogle. It's got lifelink. You can pay 2, tap it. Target opponent gains control of another target permanent you control. If they do, you draw a card.
What a helpful little Moogle.
Give stuff.
Give stuff.
Dude, imagine just giving bad stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
I think that's the point.
Maybe.
That's,
Usually those bad stuff, like that come out of what's that name of the bully, the Beamtown bully deck?
oh,
Mhm.
Usually
yeah,
they're ETBs,
that's true.
so
But
probably not
there
gonna
are
give.
enchantments that, like, say you lose the game and stuff, so,
That's true.
yeah.
You could do that.
There's
Yeah.
also a really fun commander deck. I can't remember the name of the commander, but it's like he looks like an elk. I think it's like one in Jeskai, so it's white, blue, red. And it cares about your opponents owning other things that aren't theirs.
There you go.
So this would slot right into that.
And it's legendary, so you can build around this for 1 mana.
Hmm.
But I already know there's gonna be so many legendary creatures coming out of this set.
Yep.
But this set seems to be the hype. This will probably be the top selling set of all time for Magic.
I think right before we started recording this, we tried to get some stuff on Amazon, and it's pretty much almost it's all unavailable already.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Let's go ahead and move on to the next card. Stiltzkin. Pretty cool. This is a new kind of card. Look at that. It is a saga creature. It's Summon Shiva. It's 3 and 2 blue for a 4/5 enchantment creature saga elemental. Because it's a saga, it has lore counters. So the first and second lore counters on it, called Heavenly Strike, that says tap target creature and opponent controls, put a stun counter on it. And the third and final lore counter is Diamond Dust. You draw a card for each tapped creatures your opponents control. Very cool. Obviously, with sagas, how they work, after that third lore counter, it just disappears, and
It's
that's what
gone.
happens with this creature.
It's cool, though, dude. Like, there's more upside with your sagas.
I mean, a saga that can die to more removal, though.
Yeah.
Kill a creature, you're
I don't know.
boned.
I think it's cool. I think it's really cool.
You
Oh,
throwing this in Hilda?
Dude, I said the
uh,
same thing.
it's pretty good. I think I might. But for 5 mana, it
Ooh.
is pretty hefty.
I mean, you're drawing a lot of cards for 5 mana.
Yeah, once you get to the third turn.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just it's on 1 and 2. But I will say, as a flavor like win for this card, everyone is saying this is awesome because in Final Fantasy, you can summon something to help you, and then it disappears. That's exactly what this is doing, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Very cool. How do you feel about this outside of Final Fantasy? You think they can continue to do this?
I would like to. I would like to see it.
Hmm.
I'd like to see a cycle.
I mean, they said this is definitely not the first and only summon. There's going to be a lot.
Awesome.
So, so
Because Shinsei needs some more power.
we'll see. Moving on, we have our first flip card. This is Cecil, Dark Knight. 1 black mana for a 2/3 legendary creature human knight. It has Death Touch. It also has darkness. That says whenever Cecil deals damage, you lose that much life. And then if your life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total, untap Cecil and transform it. Once transformed, it's Cecil Redeemed Paladin. It is a 4/4 legendary creature human knight. It's got lifelink. It's got protect, which means whenever it attacks, other attacking creatures gain indestructible until end of turn. This
Pretty
card's
cool.
nuts.
Pretty
This
Is
card,
it?
cool.
this card is so pushed in standard. A 1-mana 2/3 Death Toucher is nuts.
Yeah. It's gonna hurt
Pause.
you, but then it's gonna like flip into a 4/4 and help you a lot.
Doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
And yes, I did mention standard. Everything moving forward that is Universes Beyond, they've already announced this will be standard legal. Everything else standard legal. So when we get Spider-Man, that's also standard legal. Pretty nuts because they said they've been working on this since 2021. So I think something like this, before they announced and decided to shift to standard, was probably in the modern realm, just because I think this card is so powerful.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see some powerful cards in this set for sure.
I don't know. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not that happy about it, I guess. I always think about Commander, even though I've started the standard grind to Mythic. But I'm just not really truly here for this card.
Why, dude?
Well,
It's
it's
so
nuts.
good.
It'll see
Because like
play
when I think about
1000%.
it, I just I know we do the spoiler videos, but the only thing my mind ever goes to is Commander, and I'm just trying to in standard, sure, 1 mana, 2/3 Death Touch comes down turn 1, and then just wipe the board with your Death Touch. But it's just when this flips, it does not give itself indestructible, so it's just it's just very easily killable. I don't know.
That's fine. I'm looking at standard standpoint where I don't care if it flips. Like this is a mono black aggro. Hey, we're just trying to deal as much damage as possible. There are black cards still in standard. By the time this set comes out in June, Mildred is still in standard. Gain that life back. Other ways.
This card will see
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say standard busted. Everything else, meh.
Okay, we'll see. Moving on to another flip card. This is a side quest. That's right. Side quests are in Final Fantasy, so let's make them into cards. Side quest, catch a fish. 2 and a white for an enchantment that says at the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library if it's an artifact or a creature card. You may reveal it and put it in your hand. If you put a card in your hand this way, you create a food token and transform this enchantment. Once it's transformed, it turns into Cooking Campsite. It's a land that you can tap for a white, or pay 3, tap it, sacrifice an artifact to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery.
You love this card, dude.
Yeah, it's
That's a-
pretty
I
cool.
mean, it's
That's
pretty
good.
solid.
That's good. Big
Yeah, I
fan.
like
I love it
this card.
because it gives you the food token, transforms, and then the next turn you can just do this, and then obviously probably running this in an artifact style kind of deck, and it's really good.
Just a quick card advantage and then just a quick counter advantage. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
3 mana, look at the top 4 of your next turn. Grab something you need. Yeah. Good card, good. I think
Very good card, good.
really interested to see what the other side quests are. Like I said, we do not play Final Fantasy, so if there is a side quest that you guys are really stoked on and one of the many a games that are, let us know down below.
I saw
Which
people,
side quest I like is win the game.
Win the game. That's a good side quest.
I saw people typing like Chocobo racing, so maybe that'll be a thing.
Ooh, with Aether
Yeah.
Drift, that'd be kind of fun.
That'd be cool. Let's move on. Next up, Tonberry. 1 black mana for a 2/1 creature Salamander Horror. As this creature enters tapped with a stun counter on it. It's also got Chef's Knife, which means during your turn, this creature has first strike death touch.
Yep.
It wants to
This card's
stab.
great. I love this card so much.
Yeah.
This reminds me of Ankle Shanker.
It's okay. I mean, coming in with a stun counter is a bummer. You don't get to use this till turn 3.
It is a bummer. Really strong. Because no one's gonna block.
It does come down early.
First strike death
It comes
toucher.
down on it comes down and you don't get to use it till turn 3.
I mean, so if it'll survive, dude, because you said mono black aggro. If this survives long enough, like pretty good.
Hey, run into proliferate poison deck and you're bummed because
Yeah,
they're
but
just
that
gonna
is
proliferate the stun counters.
no one plays that deck in standard.
I've seen it.
Yeah, like
It's very
twice.
niche, but I've
Yeah.
seen it.
Either way,
When you
good
run
card.
into it, you're bummed.
You just go to the top and you click concede.
I think it's an okay card. Very similar to what Steven said about the Cecil. This is a meh card to me.
Okay. Can't get upset when
I
you
think
say
they're
that.
both good. I think they're both good.
There's one that's infinitely better, and it's not this one. Next up is Sazh's Chocobo. It's 1 green mana for a 0/1 creature bird. It's got landfall. It says whenever a land you control enters, you put a +1/+1 counter on this creature.
Nice little one drop.
I like this card a lot.
Yeah.
Of course
As
you
someone
do.
that has a landfall deck that likes counters, yeah,
Cute little
count me in.
chocobo.
It only gets
Landfall.
bigger as the game progresses.
Yep. I'm a fan of this.
Sure.
I did read somewhere. A question was, is this good for a modern deck that fetches? Come down turn 1, turn 2, it's a 2/3 already.
Maybe.
Turn 3, it's a 4/5.
I mean, Armor is good.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I like it though. I like this card. Landfall. It's never broken.
Never broken.
Moving on to the card that everybody is talking about. It is Jumbo Cactuar. 5 and 2 green for a 1/7 creature plant. I don't think there's any other text you need to know.
I think there's a couple things down there you gotta read, dude.
All right, it's got
10,000
10,000
of them. Yeah.
10,000 needles. Whenever this creature attacks, it gets plus 9,999 plus 0 until end of turn.
This is ridiculous.
This is nuts.
This seems like an unset. Like, I feel like it's a joke. Steven even said this can't be real.
Yeah, when this got spoiled earlier and you sent me the text, I was just like, is this real?
Yeah.
Like it didn't seem like this could possibly be a thing that wasn't like you said, an unset.
Like, where's the
I
silver
just
border?
honestly like I thought it was April 1st.
Where's the
So
acorn, dude?
I'm already picturing what's happening in Standard, and this is a definite target to bring back for the Reanimator.
You think so?
And then
Yeah.
you've already got Bitter Reunion, which you can get rid of for 1 mana to give it haste. And then Swing. Now it's 10,000 damage. Granted, it doesn't have Trample, so you could probably give it that somehow. Or, if you really wanted to, how many Fling effects are in Standard right now?
Like a couple?
10,000
Enough.
damage to your face.
Yeah, I just my biggest thing is this is an insane card. I'm sure in Standard it'll be fun to build around, but like for Commander, like I this isn't legendary.
Yeah, I know.
Just make copies of it.
Yeah. Or, hear me out, Steven. Challenger's Ignition.
Sure, hear me out.
10,000
Draw
damage
cards.
to all of your opponents.
Draw
Done.
cards equal to the greatest power among creatures on your board, and then you just mill yourself.
Well,
Or draw
that's
yourself out of me.
Yeah,
stupid.
congratulations, you lost.
Best way to lose.
Yeah, but this card, absolutely wild. I cannot believe this is a card that just hits for 10,000.
I love it.
So here's my question, and this is a question for anybody that actually like designs Magic Arena. Are you guys going to change any mechanics for 10,000 triggers for something? Because the client is going to break.
There's got to be an update before this game comes out, or before this set comes out. Sorry, thinking about the game. It's got to be, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's go ahead and move on to some more double face cards. First up, Emet-Selch, Unsundered. It is 1 blue and black for a 2/4 legendary creature, Elder Wizard. It's got vigilance, and it says when it enters or attacks, you draw a card, then discard a card. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 14 or more cards in your graveyard, you may transform Emet-Selch. Once transformed, it turns into Hades, Sorcerer of Eld. It is a 6/6 legendary creature avatar with vigilance. It's got Echo of the Lost, which means during your turn, you may play cards from your graveyard. And then if a card or token would be put into your graveyard from anywhere, you exile it instead. Very interesting.
Seems pretty interesting, yeah.
Don't like how it's kind of like a self. Once you get it flipped, then you can no longer fill your graveyard and get those
Yeah, it's
cards
kind of
back.
like counterproductive to what your deck kind of wants to do to a certain extent.
You're trying to fill your grave to get this to flip, but once it's flipped, you get all those cards back, and then you can't put any more in the grave to continue the loop. So, like Lear, that's what I was thinking of when I saw this card, but Lear at least allows you to play cards still and bring them back again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of takes away like the fun aspect of being able to play like fetch lands from your graveyard to then get something else and just kind of continue to recur fetch lands. And but once you crack it the second time, obviously it's going straight into exile, so it's interesting.
True.
It's like a fixed. It's like a fixed. I don't want it to be too powerful.
I mean, it's pretty powerful still.
It's still pretty powerful.
Yeah, they can only give you 9,999 power. Why would they give you any access to any other powerful cards?
True.
Yeah. I like it though. It's probably going to see play in standard. I mean,
Yeah.
just giving yourself access to 13 more cards on your turn.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, plus a 6/6 with vigilance is pretty gnarly.
14, sorry. Yeah, not bad, not bad. And a 3-mana 2/4, we've seen that in standard already. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Moving on. Garland, Knight of Cornelia. It is a black and a red for a 3/2 legendary creature human knight. It says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, surveil 1. And then it has an ability that you can pay 3 and 2 black and 2 red. Return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield transformed. Activate only as a sorcery. Once it's transformed, it turns into Chaos the Endless. It is a 5/5 legendary creature demon. It's got flying, and when Chaos dies, you put it on the bottom of its owner's library.
Interesting.
Cool.
Big ol' cool, right, Steven?
Cool.
I mean,
Interesting.
I don't know. Like it seems interesting because obviously there's the Grixis demon deck that came out, and I can kind of see this in that to where you're kind of like milling yourself out, this being the last card in your library, and then you just kind of continue to try and recur. But that's so many pieces to try and win and like ping your opponents with a 5/5 demon. A
You're trying to
ton of
make it
mana that's needed.
trying to make it work. It's not.
I mean, it could work. It's so aggressively unnecessary.
I
Mhm.
think a 2-mana 3/2 is pretty solid stat wise.
Helps you
That gives you
surveil
card
too.
advantage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Backside's kind of like meh, but
It's a body that'll stay there every time you cast your spells to continuously fill your graveyard. This also fills your graveyard and just is a body that'll protect your life total while
Yeah.
you figure out what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It can work. I can see it. But let's move on. Next up is Sin, Spira's Punishment. It's 4 black, green, blue for a 7/7 legendary creature, Leviathan Avatar. It's got flying, and it says when it enters or attacks, exile a permanent card from your graveyard at random. Then create a tapped token that's a copy of that card. If the exile card is a land card, repeat this process.
You
pretty
can't sit
pretty
there and
cool.
tell me this isn't a sliver.
This
No, it's a
is a
Leviathan.
Leviathan.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. It's a Leviathan.
Could be a sliver though.
I mean, great colors for this.
It is great colors. It is eating up your graveyard. I mean, we just saw another card, Hashaton, not eat the graveyard and make copies.
It's
This
also 2
does
mana.
the opposite of that, where you're eating the things and you can't continuously copy it. So that's a bummer.
That's true.
I don't know. This is kind of fun. I see some convoluted combo here, and it makes me scratches that itch.
Yeah, it's kind of the same combo we've been seeing over and over and over, where hey, pitch a bunch of big stuff in the grave, bring it back for free.
What?
Isn't that crazy? What a
It's crazy.
strategy.
It's crazy.
Love
This is
it.
this is 7 mana though. So
Hefty.
luckily it does have the ETB on a top of attack trigger.
Yeah.
So at least it does something right away.
It's like one of the other avatars, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Moving on, we have what is their bonus sheet. These are cards that are directly from the game, which is cool. Like art wise, they took this art, they just stepped it right onto a card, and they said, "Here you go." So this is basically the bonus sheet that we've been seeing in all these standard sets. Here we go. Ancient Copper Dragon is actually now called Dragon of Mount Gulg. You guys know what this card is. It's 4/2 red, 6/5. It's got the D20. You make a bunch of treasures. Not gonna go through it.
Gorgeous. Please give it to me right now.
Yeah.
I want it.
What do you think, Steven? D&D card getting reprinted.
No, I'm here for it. I almost kind of want this card to have like the Aether Drift like first place finish treatment almost. I think
Oh.
like that gold border on this would just set it so nicely.
Make it all gold.
I mean, it pretty much is all gold. This thing is gorgeous, dude.
Yeah, foil in this is probably going to be pretty fire.
Yeah.
Another one from that bonus sheet is Yuffie Kisaragi. I am butchering that name, but it's Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow. So
Really
it's
cool.
the good old Commander Ninjutsu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool art.
Cool art. Very cool. I'm here for it. I'm excited to see what's on the rest of the bonus sheet because these two cards going up there in price.
Pretty good, yeah.
Pretty good. Moving on, we have the starter decks. They are going to be helmed. This starter deck is going to be helmed by Cloud versus Sephiroth, if you will. So Cloud, Planet's champion, is 3 red, white for a 4/4 legendary creature, human, soldier, mercenary. So during your turn, as long as Cloud is equipped, it has double strike and indestructible. And then equipped abilities you activate that target Cloud cost 2 less to activate. I don't think it's a terrible card.
No. Seems fun. Doing equipment stuff.
I mean, I was kind of bummed out when I saw that Cloud and Sephiroth were on the starter deck box because normally I feel like starter deck commanders or cards are generally not that powerful. And I just felt like two of the main people from Final Fantasy should have gotten something a little bit cooler. But
I mean,
We see Cloud in the
there
new one
is going to be
too.
so many
Yeah.
different versions of these cards.
Yeah.
I hope so.
They said you're gonna see a main like standard version of these cards. They're in the EDH version of these cards, like they're all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
All right. That gets
Uh,
me a little bit more pumped up.
well, let's move on to the Sephiroth, who Cloud is versus in this starter deck. It's Sephiroth, Planet's Heir. 4 black and a blue for a 4/4 legendary creature, human avatar soldier. It's got vigilance. And when it enters, creatures your opponents control get -2/-2 to end a turn. Then whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you put a +1/+1 counter on Sephiroth.
Straightforward.
I think
Players, well, figure it out.
yeah, definitely. Obviously, 6 mana is a lot if you wanted to make this your commander. If it was lower, I think this would be a solid commander.
Yeah. I think new players are just
Massacre
gonna have fun.
Worm with upside.
Yeah, pretty much. I am here for it, but we will get to that when we get to our commander grades sometime in June.
Yeah.
Speaking of commander grades, let's go through and talk about the commander product. We were shown all of the commander product base commanders. They're all from an individual game. This first one is called Limit Break. It is helmed by Cloud X Soldier. 2 red, green, white, 4/4 legendary creature, human soldier, mercenary, has haste, and when it enters, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to it. And whenever Cloud attacks, draw a card for each equipped attacking creature you control. Then, if Cloud has power 7 or greater, create 2 treasure tokens. There you go, Steven, another Cloud.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here for this one. Here
Add
for
another
this one.
color. Still playing
Yeah,
with
add
equipment.
another color, equipment, got treasures, pretty fantastic. It's not hard because I mean, literally, you just throw a sword and you're good to go. I do like that this has haste. That is fantastic. And I think the best thing Wizards has decided to do for the commander product is put the set symbol as a chocobo.
Yeah.
Yep, I was about to say set symbol for the commander product is A plus. I love it.
You can
Very
see here, dude. Remember we've been talking about trying to make equipments like get leveled up. Everything just comes in attached to everything we see nowadays. There's no more like paying the equipment cost anymore, I feel like.
True. Equipment is getting better and better.
They're trying to make it better, yeah.
Next up, we have Revival Trance deck. It's helmed by Terra, Herald of Hope. It's red, white, black for a 3/3 legendary creature, human, wizard, warrior. It's got Trance. It says at the beginning of combat on your turn, you mill 2 cards. Terra gains flying until end of turn. And whenever Terra deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 2. And when you do, return target creature card with power 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. It's an effect we've never seen before.
It's kind of cool though, dude. No finality counter.
Finality counter.
That is pretty good. I do like the no finality. The 3 or less is a little sad, but
Yeah.
also I think what's gonna kind of hurt this card the most is going to be removal. And I know we hate kind of talking about it, but just having to pay 3 mana and then the 2 is fine, but then this dies, you bring it back, it's now 5 mana and then 2. So essentially you're just paying double commander tax almost every time you're trying to do the thing.
Maybe. I mean, you're not going to be able to attack right away unless you have, obviously, those kind of effects.
Oh
on
yeah,
you.
there's no way to do that in Mardu. You're
Yeah,
right.
no, not at all. But it is interesting. You do have to pay the 2 to get those creature cards with power 3 or less back. I mean,
This also has to deal the damage.
yeah,
Hopefully with
this does have
flying
to
it'll
deal
get
the
in,
damage.
but
It's got flying, but
Yeah. I will say, I think another cool thing about the Final Fantasy cards is normally at the bottom, it's just kind of like Final Fantasy or the whatever the set code is, but each one of these has the different Final Fantasy it's from, which is pretty cool.
yeah,
super
this one
cool.
is 6.
Yeah, I would
Cloud
have
was
no
really
idea, so I'm glad they have that.
So Revival Trance, actually, this whole entire deck, that each one is its own game, like I said. So this one is the entire game of 6, I guess.
Cool.
This next one is called Counter Blitz. It's all about Final Fantasy X. It's Tidus, Yuna's Guardian. It is a green, white, blue for a 3/3 legendary creature human warrior. So at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may move a counter from target creature you control onto a second target creature you control. It also has Cheer, which means whenever one or more creatures you control with counters on them deal combat damage to a player, you may draw a card and proliferate. Do this only once each turn.
Seems pretty
Can't
good.
break it.
You can't break it, but still seems pretty good.
Yeah, it
In
does.
fact,
That's
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 yeah.
exactly what I said. I was talking to Hunter about
Yeah.
this, and I was like, I see this commander, and I see you just being an absolute dick playing Infect.
I'll build this.
Yeah.
I'll be the dick.
It's nuts. It's a nuts card. It's probably gonna be good. We will see when we get there in June. I keep saying that. Final card we're talking about is the Helm of Scions and Spellcraft. Here we go. Time to butcher this. It's Y'shtola, Knights Blessed. I hope
did
I'm
great.
saying that. 1 white, blue black for a 2/4 legendary creature, Cat Warlock. It's got Vigilance. Beginning of each end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, you draw a card. And then whenever you cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, Y'shtola deals 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life.
Banger.
I like this one.
I think we all like this one.
They just take Ariette and just say, do this but different.
They took
100%,
Ariette and put
dude.
cat ears on it.
It's like I said everything, dude. Like the picture of it looks the same. Like this is Iriet in another universe.
You mentioned poison with the last one. You can make poison with this one because it's dealing damage instead of draining life, unlike Iriette.
Yeah, that
That's
is true
true,
because
that's
it's
true.
dealing the damage.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh yeah, there are some spicy ways to build this one. But
I like this card.
yeah, me too. That is going to do it for us today. Final Fantasy lovers, comment down below how stoked are you guys for this set. Like I said, we are stoked for it. We don't even play Final Fantasy, but boy, was that a good first look. Comment down below also if you think these cards are as crazy as we think they are, especially that cactus, because 10,000 damage coming out of nowhere. Let's do the thing that we normally do for spoiler videos, guys. What was your favorite card we talked about today, Shane?
I honestly think I like the summons, dude. I like that new way to play with sagas. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it is actually really cool. Steven, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and go with what I'm sure everyone else's favorite card is, and that's Jumbo Cactuar.
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 Whatever you wanna say.
Reptar. Jumbo Reptar.
I like Cecil. I think Cecil's the cool. I think he's gonna see play.
The
It's
standard guy, of course.
gonna be cool. But yeah, comment down below. What was your guys' favorite card? Hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel because you don't want to miss out on all of this videos that we got putting out. Magic is making so much content that we have to keep up with all the content they're putting out by making content of our own, so you don't want to miss out. In the description, you'll find links to all of our social media accounts. Follow us on those as well if you're not already. And on the screen right now, those are all of our Patreon subscribers. Thank you guys so much for your added support. It really does mean the world to us. If you guys wanted to check out what they're seeing, which is not here on YouTube, please check the link in the description below to consider subscribing. And a very special shout out to our Gains Indestructible tier, starting with
Herald Tripp,
Marion Turner,
Dr. Rome,
Jimmy Ward,
Kevo,
Larry Killian,
Matthew McClendon,
Robert Myatt,
Thrifty PSGR,
Tim K,
Wish Wereich,
and Ryder Cole. You guys are awesome. We appreciate every single one of you. And until the next video, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Later.
Bye-bye.